Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play the game called Here to Slay. And so if I take the lid off of that, so the first thing you see is the introductions. I'm just going to put that aside because basically I'm the instructions for this game. And so down here you would see 2 packs of cards, and so they're basically the same thing. I mean, it's just divided into 2 because you can't fit the entire deck in one. So they're the same type of cards. And you'll also see a bunch of, so these cards, you can also just put them aside because they're also like mini instructions. But you can use the thing on the back, which I'll explain later. So, actually no, let me just keep showing these. So there's 2 dice as well. So I'm just gonna leave them there. And there's also these big oversized cards. Now there's 6 colorful ones, and those are the party leaders. So yeah. And okay, I'll just show you the basics of, so it's a 2 to 6 player game, and I've only ever played it 2 player, so I don't actually know what more players feel like. And so these black cards are the monster cards. Now, if I turn them around, there's a whole bunch of monsters in here. There's Bloodwing, Rex Major, Nuren Cauldron, Warren, Albert, Othis, and so on and so forth. So these ones are the monsters. I'm just going to put them on this side for now. I'm just going to set up a game here and then continue explaining how to play it. Okay, so I've just set up a game. So at the so your objective in this game is to either kill 3 monsters, so you kill 3 of these guys, or your objective is to assemble a full party of 6 different classes. So 6 different hero classes. So now I'll talk about that more later on. So now I'll explain the types of cards in the game. So types of these kind of cards. Actually, no. Before I do that, let me just explain the party leaders. So the party leaders, what they are is, at the start of each game, you choose a party leader. There are 6 different ones with different abilities. For example, this one says, each time you roll to challenge, plus 2 to your roll. This one says, each time you roll to attack a monster card, plus 1 to your roll. This one says, once per turn on your turn, you may spend an action point to pull a card from another player's hand. And there's other ones in here as well. This one is, you can read that. So each time you play a modified card, blah, blah, blah. This one is each time you play a magic card, draw a card. Each time you roll to use a hero card's effect, plus 1 to your roll. So those are the 6 different party leaders, and each party leader has a different class. For example, let me just get these. So these are the different types of classes. There is a fighter, which is this one. Next, there is a ranger, which is that one. Next, there is also that symbol, which is a thief, which is right there. Also, that symbol is a guardian. So that shield right there. Next is the the wizard. I was reading that up there and I got confused. This is the wizard. So it's that one right there. And finally is the bard, which has this symbol. Okay. And the same for the hero card. So each hero has a different class. For example, there's an outline color. So that one is yellow, which means it's guardian. That one is orange, which is a bard. That one's a ranger, because it's green. Okay, so hero card, so party leader card. So for example, let's say I chose this one, and the other guy chose that one. And I'm just going to put the rest aside here. Okay, so party leader cards, what they do is so every time their conditions are met. For example, in this one is each time you roll to challenge. That's its condition. Each time you roll to a challenge, you apply the effect. So each time the conditions are met, you apply the effect. So anytime and at anywhere at all. Okay, when you start, you each get 5 cards, and so my 5 cards are these ones, and the other person's 5 cards are these ones. So on your turn, you get 3 action points. Now, so the following actions cost 1 action point. You can either put down a card, so any card, a hero card, an item card, a modify card, a challenge card, or a cursed item card, or a magic card. I'll explain more of those later. So you can either put down a card, or, and also for 1 action point, you can draw a card. And also for 1 action point, you can, so any heroes that you already have, let's say I already placed that one, you can roll to use its effect. So this thing, if you get a 6, let me just get the clarity on that. 1 second. That's a bit blurry. Okay, there you go. So every time you get a 6 or higher, you have to search, and when you roll to this guy, so yeah, you have to choose a hero card to roll to, and let's say I chose this one, and I rolled. And so if I got a 6 or higher, then I search the discard pile for a modify card, and I add it to my hand. So the discard pile, let me get the clarity on that. So the discard pile is currently over here, but the game hasn't started yet, so there's no cards in it. Alright, now you can also just wait, I'll be right back. You can also you can also attack a monster on your turn. That costs 2 action points. And to attack a monster, you have to fulfill the requirements. So this requirement is 1 hero has to be placed down. And party leaders don't count. And for this one is 1 thief, and any other hero has to be placed down. So if there's a H that's grey, that means it basically means any hero. So no matter what class. This one, so if you had a thief card, it would either fill the thief requirement or it would either fill the any hero requirement. But it couldn't fill both because you need 2 cards for that. Alright, and this one is any 2 heroes. So each time you kill a monster, and so each time you want to attack a monster, let's say I attack this monster, and I have already fulfilled the requirements, even though I haven't, but let's just say I have. Then what I would do is I would roll, and so if I got a 4 or less, I would have to discard 2 cards from my hand, so that right there is my hand. If I got 8 or higher, I would slay this monster card, so I'd get to keep it. And once I keep it, it's the same kind of thing as the party leaders, which is right down there. So each time there's a condition and an effect. So each time the conditions are met, well, in this card in most of the monster cards there are a condition and an effect. In this one, it just says item cards you play cannot be challenged. I'll explain more about that later. And for example, in this one, there's an effect. So there's a thing and effect. I forgot what I called it. So a condition and an effect. So the condition is each time any player, including you, plays a modifier card. That's the condition. And the effect is you may draw a card. So that's how they work. They work the same way as the party leader cards. Let me just get the clarity. Okay. Now, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, and that's it. And also, this one is rarely ever used. I was just reading off this thing because I forgot it. And so basically, this costs 3 action points. So it costs your entire turn. So what you do is you discard every card in your hand, if you have any, and you draw 5 cards. So that one is, it's rarely ever used because normally you wouldn't want to discard every card you have. Unless you have 0 cards, then you would definitely do that. And yeah, so that's a rare one. It's never usually used because you just skip your entire turn and draw 5 cards. I mean, it's kind of bad. Okay, now I'll explain the types of cards. So I've already explained the hero cards. So those are just ones with classes, and yeah. And so now I'm going to explain item cards. So item cards can be attached to hero cards, when they are played. For example, this item card is called a fighter mask, and it says item right there. Now, so the effect is the equipped hero card is considered a fighter instead of its original class. For example, let's say I put down these two heroes. So I just did one action point for that, one action point for that. And also I forgot to mention, every time you put down a hero card, you roll immediately to use its effect. It doesn't cost an extra action point. So 1, 2, and I rolled for both of them. I did whatever action it was. And then for the third action point on my turn, I attached this fighter mask onto this guy. So now, instead of this card being a guardian, it's now a fighter. So that can help when you have two of the same color and you want different cards, because one of the ways to win in this game is to either slay 3 monsters, or the other way to win is to get a full party of all 6 different classes. So right now I have only 2 classes. If I put down these 3 cards, I only have 2 classes. I have a fighter, so even if this wasn't there, I would have a fighter and a guardian. Even if this was there, it wouldn't change anything. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, now, so that's item cards. Those are done. And there are also cursed item cards. So cursed item cards is, for example, this card says Curse of the Snake's Eyes. And it says cursed item right here. Each time you roll to use the equipped hero card's effect, -2 to your roll. Now, this card is attached onto other people's hero cards. For example, if the other player here had put down this card, so had placed this card, I could attach this one onto it. And yeah, I could just attach onto it and he would have this debuff on that card. Alright. Next type of card is, so that cursed items and items are basically the exact same thing, except for cards, you put it on cursed items, you put it on other people's hero cards, but for items, you put it on your own hero cards. So actually, right now, this is a very bad example. I should be holding these, and I should be right now holding these. Let's just say I put down that, and I've attached that one. Okay, from our previous example. Let's just say I had that, okay? Okay, now I'm going to go on to a different type of card called a magic card. So, magic cards have one-time use, and so you play them into the discard pile, which is right over here. So you place them, and then you do the effect. So you search you search the discard pile for a hero card and add it to your hand. So you place it there, and then you do its action, and then that's it. You've lost it. You're never going to get it again. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah, that's what magic cards do. And there's lots of different types of magic cards, not just that one. Okay, what else are there? These 2. So I'm just going to explain the modify card first. So a modify card is every time I roll, let's say I rolled, actually, let's say I wanted to kill this monster. Let's say I wanted to kill this. I'm just getting the clarity right here, sorry. Okay, let's say I wanted to kill that monster. Then I would have to roll an 8 or higher. So let's say I rolled. And I rolled, actually, that was bad, okay. Let's say I rolled a 7, no. Let's say I rolled a 6, okay. So let's say I rolled a 1 and a 5. Then what I could do is I could instantly play this modify card, which doesn't cost any action points. So I play it into the discard pile over there. And I either choose one of the 2 options written on here. So I can either +3 to my roll or -1 to my roll. And I think you can see that. Yep, okay, there you go. So then I would add 3 to 6, and I would get a total of 9, which then I would be able to kill this monster. But if I had 6, I wouldn't have been able to kill this monster. So now I killed it, yay, so I get to keep it, and that's basically it. Now, for challenge cards. Now, challenge cards are kind of confusing, kind of not. Okay, actually, no, they're not that confusing. So basically, every time someone else uses a card, so for example, they might use a magic card, they might use an item card, or they might use a hero card. Not modifiers, so you can't challenge modifiers. So you can, every time they put down a card, you can challenge that card. So let's say this guy used this magic card, but I can challenge it. So let's say I challenge his magic card. Now we both would have to roll. So let's say I rolled an 8, and now the other guy also rolled an 8. But let's say he rolled a 9. The other guy rolled a 9. Then he would just continue on because he beat me, because his roll was higher than mine. I got 8, he got 9. But if I got 7, for example, then I beat him, and he would have to take that card back. So the card he put down, which was this card, he would have to take that card back into his hand, and that's it. So he lost 1 action point because of that. Because he put it down, he failed, take it back. And I'll be right back. But if the other guy got an 8 as well, so I got an 8 and the other guy got an 8, then what would happen is I would win. Whoever put down the challenge card wins. So since I put down the challenge card, I win, and the same thing would happen. The other guy would have to take back his card. So I'm just going to show you a little gameplay right now. It's just a small gameplay, just to show you an example of how it might look like. Okay, so those are the other guy's cards. I'm just going to put them over there. So first of all, I'm just going to put down that. Actually, I'm gonna decide to pick up a card from there that costs 1 action point. I'm gonna pick up another card from there that costs 2 action points, and I'm going to put down this card. That's the 3rd action point. Now, since I put down a hero card, I can roll immediately to use its effect. I got 6. And that is, so I don't get to use the effect, sadly. Okay, now let's keep going. Now it's the other guy's turn. I'm just going to place them over here. Now let's say this guy wanted to put down that card. So he would roll for it. He got a 4, was not enough because that's a 7 plus. You can't see that, but it's a 7 plus. And then let's say he put down this card and he rolls for that. And then he got an 11. Nice. So he gets to use the card's effect, and it says if you get a 7 or more, you get to draw 2 cards. So he gets to draw 1 card, 2 card. Okay. Now for the 3rd card, he's just going to, let's say, he just does this one. So it puts that, attach that card on this one. So that card's effect is if you unsuccessfully roll to use the hero card's effect, then you draw a card. Okay, now that his 3 turns are done. Now it's my 3 turns. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down... I'm going to put down this card right there. Alright, so that is a 10 plus. Okay, so it's really hard to get. So I got a 9, and I'm going to use this modifier card on that 9. So now it's 12. So now I get to use the effect. But this guy uses a modifier again, -3, onto that my +3, so they cancel out. So this is back on 9. Now, so that means, that basically means I lost. I mean, like, that means I don't get to use the effect of that card. Because I don't have any other modifiers, and that was a 10 plus, but I only had a 9. Now, that was only my 1st action point. Now, for my 2nd action point, I'm going to pick up this card. And for my 3rd action point, I'm just going to pick up another card. And actually, I messed up. What I should have done is when I rolled for a challenge, I should have gone +2. But, okay, yeah. Just so you have to remember to use everything. And that's basically how this game works. I'm not going to go ahead and play the rest of it because I feel like I already... Alright, so that's basically how this game works. You keep going until one person, so let's say I had all these cards. So let's say I had all 6 different colors. So I had red, I had yellow. Let me just get it. So I had red, yellow, green, orange, blue, which I don't have, and also, what's the other one? Purple. Yeah, I also need purple. And let me just go find that. So here's a blue. Here's purple. Alright. So let's say I had all 6 colors. Then I win. I just win. I win the game. And or another way to win is, let's say I killed this monster. So I killed him, I take him. Now a new monster is placed right there, because there's always 3 monsters on display. And then let's say I killed this one. And let's then say I just killed that one. Well, let's say actually I killed this one. So I killed 3 monsters, I win. That simple as that. And so those are the 2 ways to win. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. So if you liked it, please make sure to hit the like button. And it was a actually super long video, so sorry about that, but okay. And goodbye, see you in my next video.